D, consideration of hiring a laborer 1. Adam, any?
Sure.
comments?
The Personnel Committee reviewed this issue again. They met for a second time recently. It has come, they've pretty much come to a decision that they are at an impasse. They will not be able to make a recommendation to the council, which was the request that they were made to do so. So now I'm bringing this issue back to the council for consideration, and that's predominantly it.
Bill, do you have any comments?
You know, at first glance, you know, you'd think we have a decreasing population, which would justify decreasing the number of employees. The fact of the matter is, though, we still have the same infrastructure, the same pipes for water distribution. We still have, you know, the same infrastructure for gas, streets, and all the services that we offer. Secondly, a lot of that infrastructure is aging, which that makes more of a demand on our maintenance departments. We're down 6 employees from what we were at our peak. That's just in the maintenance department. That's not considering the fact that we're 1 less within the city office and 1 less policeman is full-time. And I have visited with all the department heads and discussed the situation. And we looked at the possibility of sharing between departments, which we evidently do at the present time. I should clarify that gas and water share some of the responsibilities in the general maintenance department. And then lastly, we're going to be looking at some retirements down the road. And if we don't start thinking about filling, you know, some of the positions, then when the retirements do come, we will be short of the training that's necessary for those positions. You know, with that, you know, I would certainly, my position is to recommend hiring a new person, you know, for that position that's open in the general maintenance department.
Nick, comments?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I agree with some of the things that Bill said, but the bottom line is that, you know, we're still looking at declining population and declining tax base in the community. One thing that caught my attention, Bill, and you correct me if I'm wrong, the cooperation between some of the departments is rather undefined. Bob, speak up whenever you feel you need to here, but there was times during the meeting that you said you never knew when the water personnel was like either out mowing or whatever. You had no clue that some of the things that they were doing was going on. And, you know, I remember last winter, we had this water line break up there by the car wash bill. I'm sure you remember that the water was running on the street, and it was, you know, below zero. And I saw Terry Duffy out there, you, Bob, and I believe Tom Crabb was out there digging that water line. And you said, you know, the department, the maintenance department is down 6 people, but we also have 3 people at the water department that we've never had before. So, and I was going to suggest that, you know, Mike has indicated that, you know, there's times when he has some slow time over there that he has released somebody to come help the city. But Bob, there's a lot of times you didn't know that you had that help available. You know, they would jump on a mower or do things like that. Is that
There is, once in a while, the occasion, you think it's there, but you're just not 100% sure. And, you know, I'm sticking up for the other departments. They have things that they have to get done.
And I agree. So it seems like from a management decision from the whole city, you know, with you not being able to count on, okay, when are they going to have somebody available, or, you know, especially, you know, like for the water distribution bill, you know, like the water lines and things like that. If, you know, there was a possibility that we could help out the maintenance department by setting up a portion of the water department's through with the distribution activities, you know, like working on water lines. For example, how many fire hydrants do we have non-functioning right now in town?
2, 3.
Okay, you know, there's a lot of those kind of things that I think that help, that the water department could be able to help pitch in. Of course, I grant that they don't have the backhoe, but they certainly could, you know, if they've got the manpower there. So my suggestion was, you know, if there was some way that, you know, so Bob knew what he had, and everybody else knew what was, you know, we had, especially from Bob's part, that if we could get this set somehow, so maybe that the water department could be helping out with the distribution of the water supplies to so much time a week, at a set time, so Bob would know when that time was available. You know, whether it's a half a day, every day, 2 days a week, half a day, or something like that. And that would help also clarify the position of, okay, when can Bob count on these guys? Because Mike had said during that meeting a week ago that there are times that he would go jump on a mower and mow, which is a great, you know, I'm glad that guys are working together like that, but if Bob doesn't know that he's got that help available, and he doesn't know that, you know, this is going on, he can't really plan, okay, like having, let's fix some of these fire hydrants. So, from that standpoint, I guess I would like to see something like that tried first, so Bob could get some more help with his maintenance, with some of the water distribution efforts that, you know, Bob seems to be totally responsible for. If we could utilize some of the water personnel on a set schedule coming out of the water department.
Okay.
That's my
Are there any other comments or questions or discussion around this?
Well, one thing.
Curtis?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I mean, one statement you made, Nick, you said that they hadn't always had 3 people down at the water plant. They've had 3 people down at the water plant
Since it was built, the bill was going back 20-some years,
well, no, but what I'm saying, since 1978, they've had 3 people down at the water plant.
full-time.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes, they do. And as far as the fire hydrants, I mean, Greg helps with the fire hydrants. He helped with the one on the bank corner. So, but Bob's got to call them, you know, if they're going to work on a hydrant, so Mike can schedule it down there too. Because there's certain days where they can't do stuff down there. So their hands are kind of tied. And when there's a distribution break, normally they're having to work more hours down there to keep up with water demand. Understand? I mean, because you do have a leak, if it's 50, 60,000 gallons a day, they're having to work more hours.
I actually, to speak to some of Nick's point, I actually don't see any issue with, and I talked to Mike a little bit about this, because Nick brought it to my attention this morning. I do believe that there is an opportunity, and Mike saw it too, to structure their assistance a little bit more often so that it provides Bob a little bit more opportunity to communicate with him and to structure it, regardless of what happens with this position issue. I think that's a good course of best practice management for us to install regardless.
Well, and I guess the other thing is, we're not actually adding a position, we're backfilling a position that was eliminated a year ago. So, I mean, so for last year, Bob's been down 1 man, we have gotten further behind. So, I mean, my personal opinion is we need to have another full-time guy, and if we can help, if Mike can help out more down at the water plant, it just gives Bob that much more help. That's my opinion.
Well, the one thing that might be overlooking a little bit, when I need the help, it isn't necessarily water related. It's garbage, it's snow removal, it's park maintenance help. Sometimes out to this plant, I need help. It ain't just to go take those guys and work strictly water. I mean, it's everything as a whole.
And they have pretty much taken care of the fire hydrants over the last few years as far as flushing and, you know, repairing what they can. And